India open their T20 World Cup campaign against the Irish, the dangerous Irish, might I add. This match will be played at the Nassau County Cricket Stadium, which has been in the news, unfortunately, for the wrong reasons, the pitch and the outfield. But India did really well against Bangladesh in that warm-up game. It all augurs really well. But before we go to other things, who's opening for you, Joy? India.
See, that's the point. If I look at it and I have one warm-up match, I have Yashasvi Jaiswal available, but I put in Sanju Samson because I want to try Rishabh Pant batting at 3. I think I'm sending a very, very clear message out there that, whatever is going to happen is going to be a straight swap, Rohit and Virat opening, Rishabh Pant at number 3. And I'll tell you one thing, there's a guy I know who knows a little bit about cricket, who 15 days into the IPL said, I think somebody's going to bat at number 3 for India, and that's Rishabh Pant.
It's him.
Who's that man?
Mr. Doull.
If you not throw enough rocks at the water, you'll hit something eventually, won't you? It was just a way of getting him into the side and splitting up that middle order combination of left. I didn't know about Hardik Pandya right at the start. So to me, it was where do I fit Rishabh Pant in and take away, let's say, him, Shivam Dube and Ravi Jadeja all batting at 5, 6 and 7 and just giving the top order a little point of difference as well. So that was why I thought about it. I'm pleased they gave it a chance in that first or in that game against Bangladesh. It worked well. Will they go with it again? I think they should. And that would be my side. It would have Virat and Rohit opening the batting. They're the two best players to do that at this point in time, I think. And Rishabh Pant for a point of difference at 3 with a left-hand option, and then Sky at 4, and then you've got Dube, Hardik and Jadu at 5, 6 and 7. And it just sits quite nicely for me in an Indian lineup. So if they go down that road, I think it's the best way they can go. I've heard rumours today that Jaiswal has been first into the nets and given plenty of opportunity. So that would surprise me if they bring him in. Who do they leave out? Do they leave Shivam Dube out? That would surprise me a touch.
Joy, you're 11.
For me, I think it's 11. I go with... See, if these conditions... Again, I say that Jaiswal is a great player for India if you're going to play at 220, 230 pitches. Slightly brave cricket. You want to go for it a little bit like the IPL was. You needed dashers like that. In these conditions where 170, 180 is a par for the course, teams are going to 130, 140. I really, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are the best players to open for me. Then have a dasher like Rishabh Pant at 3, Surya at 4. I mean, we don't even need to talk about Surya. Shivam at 5 because he can whack the spinners. Shivam, Hardik, you can trade around because, Hardik can come in if there's a left-right and they can switch around. Jadeja, and it's almost sure they're going to play Akshar Patel as an extra bat as well. So what that means is that the upper order has one more bat to think about. There's no Chahal at 8, so they can go even harder. So I think that's the combination I'd be looking at. I would say if this was 220, 230, 240 pitches, go with Yashasvi Jaiswal. But I think these conditions, it's a wily old foxes I want playing for me.
And therefore, given the way this New York pitch is played, Simon, safe to say that batters who are more technically sound are likely to do better, and therefore Virat Kohli's role is that much more important?
Yeah, 100%. Technically, he is probably the best batter in that lineup, and he's shown that throughout the recent tournament as well. So I just think that you are going to see the best players, the best technical batters do well in this tournament on the conditions that I've seen so far. The ball's turning, it's seaming around a little bit, there's a little bit of uneven bounce as well. So you have to have your wits about you. Do they want to expose him right at the top of the order if the ball is doing a little bit? Well, I think that's a choice that India just have to make. I wonder whether the reason behind Jaiswal having a good net session today is maybe they want to put Kohli at 3 and just give the surface a few overs to try and maybe sort of slow or soften up a little bit, perhaps, for want of a better term. Just take away that real hard, shiny new ball that might do a little bit more. But I just don't think that's the best option from an Indian team point of view, because it means you lose one of those power players in the middle order. And it would probably be Shivam Dube. So, yeah, I like the fact that they go with probably Akshar as well at number 8, and then just have the two seamers plus Shivam Dube and Hardik Pandya.
And Hardik's form with the bat and the ball, he's looking fresh. He looks like he's sort of pressed the reset button on all things psychologically. He's forgotten the IPL, and that augurs really well for India.
Yeah, that augurs well, and I think this is the crucial match for India.
Yeah.
This is the crucial match for India because they need to win this. I think they'll find Canada and the US easier opponents with no disrespect to those teams. Yeah. Ireland is a tough international side and they play hard, okay? Yeah. If they win this, India-Pakistan is an important match, but no matter what happens in the match, if you win those first two, you're still at the same. You're always going to be A1 because that's the way the groups have been aligned.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether you come first or second. And there's one thing that I'd have to say, that the one thing coaches on both sides, and especially the Indian side, be very careful of is that outfield. Yeah. It's a soft outfield. You don't want injuries out there. Don't expect too much diving. They'll want to make the match safe, but they do not want to take any unnecessary risks.
And Simon, if Ireland watched what happened in that Sri Lanka-South Africa game, I suppose the lesson is keep it simple. Don't try anything too frivolous, because simple cricket may give you enough runs to be able to compete, I suppose.
Yeah, and don't go out there searching for those 190, 200 scores. Yeah. Joyce said it. At this stage of the tournament, with what's happening, with the way the surface is playing, sluggish outfields, 155, 160, you're in the game if you bowl really well. Yeah. And bowling really well at the moment, what looks to me is just a good, hard test match length, maybe a few changes of pace here and there. And if your spinners get it right, the outfield, although it's slow, it's also quite big. It's quite square, it's quite large. So the spinners really come into play as well.
Right, the Irish squad has a few names that you might sort of recollect. There's the experienced Paul Stirling. There is the wonderful Balbirnie as well. A couple of quality all-rounders in Curtis Camphor and the left-arm spinner George Dockrell. So there is a fair bit of talent for Ireland to compete, Joy.
Absolutely. They have the talent, and I love Harry Tector. He scored a 64 against India, I remember, scored a great knock against Afghanistan. Tector and Camphor are their counter-punchers in that middle order, and they are capable of giving you something. Paul Stirling, of course, is their, he's their gun player. And don't forget, you have a bowler like Josh Little,
yes.
who's slippery, mid to late 80s, left arm. And if you look at the Indian batting, you say the one ball that they don't like facing up front is the left arm seamer.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing that both Rohit and Virat Kohli are not particularly huge fans of.
Simon, for you, players to watch out for, one each this game?
Well, Joy just mentioned the one I was sort of thinking about, and Harry Tector. He's long been talked about as the real prodigal son of Irish cricket as far as the batting is concerned. And we've seen glimpses. We haven't seen him have a blinder of a tournament at this level. I would love for him to have a really good tournament. He looks quality, looks class, but at times in the big tournaments, he's under-delivered consistently. Yeah. So for me, he holds a big key for Ireland with the bat.
India?
Bumrah. Set the tone again. No matter what they do with the ball, he is going to lead the charge. And he is the best white ball bowler in world cricket at the moment. And for me, if he leads and if he has a good tournament, India have a very successful one as well.
Joy.
I'm just going to go with the matchup which you're going to see up front. Virat Kohli batting for India and Josh Little bowling, because that as and when they face each other, I think that's going to be a crucial matchup for us both ways.